Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Autocrats. And today we're at the Dubai Autodrome to look at a car that's been winning hearts and minds for over 50 years. It is a muscle car, and in fact, it's one of my favorite muscle cars of all time. It is, of course, the Ford Mustang. Yeehaw! But where is it, you're wondering? It's right here! When Ford Vice President Lee Iacocca first presented the idea of a four-seat sports car, Henry Ford II, son of founder Henry Ford and then president of the company, didn't like the idea. In fact, he stormed out of the meeting. For most people, that would be that. But Iacocca knew that America's youth population was about to explode in the 1960s, and they would want sports cars. So he didn't give up. In fact, he came up with a plan to produce a new car in under 28 months, price it at under $2,500 and use existing platforms and components to save on development costs. They showcased the car at the 1964 New York World Fair, and backed by a massive PR and marketing campaign, it was a hit. In fact, in the first 18 months, they sold 1 million of these. Iacocca had been proved right. The rest, as they say, is history. It's not just a sales success, but it's a pop culture icon. It's been in more songs, TV shows, and movies than any other car. From the Highland Green Bullet Mustang to Eleanor and Gone in 60 Seconds, there's probably a Mustang that you know and love. 54 years on, the Mustang is still a leader. In fact, it's officially the world's best-selling sports car. 3 years in a row. In Germany alone, it's outselling the Porsche 911. Can you believe that? These are actually the latest model year 18 Mustangs with a host of changes for this year. The most obvious of which are the looks. It's got a sleeker, more aerodynamic front on it. It's slightly less retro, but overall, it keeps that distinctive and recognizable Mustang identity that we've all come to know and love. How cool is that? You know, for this year, they've also done a lot of work to the suspension to improve the ride and handling. Now, we know that this generation got fully independent rear suspension, but this year they've tightened things up to improve the body control out on the open road. Under the bonnet, the V6 is now gone because the EcoBoost produces 310 brake horsepower and 350 pounds-foot of torque, and that's plenty potent enough. But if you're like me, then I know what you're really after, the V8. And the V8 also sees power go up from 435 brake horsepower to 460 brake horsepower, and torque rises from 400 to 420 pounds-foot of torque. And this thing will do 0 to 100 in just 4 seconds. Wow! There's also been a host of changes inside the car, including an updated infotainment system now with the latest Sync 3 Ford operating system. In addition to that, you got the option of this amazing 12-inch full digital, full LCD instrument cluster with this full-length rev counter. And this is configurable depending on what mode you're in. You can also set it up to your own preferences and then access that through the button on the steering wheel. The button marked with a pony. This is, after all, the ultimate pony car, right? In addition to that personalization, you can also set up how you want the steering, the suspension, and the exhaust. My recommendation, keep it loud. Also, you have the Ford My Color option, which basically allows you to select the color of the lighting inside the cabin. Also for this year, we have a bunch of driver assist features, such as lane keep assist, active cruise control, and even pedestrian detection. Auto trivia time. Did you know the Ford Mustang was nearly not called a Mustang? In fact, there were 2 other names closely in the running. So what might the world's best-selling sports car otherwise have been called? I'll come back with the answer later, but first, this. To find out a little bit more about the Ford Mustang, I'm here with Roberto Lopez de Silva, General Manager Ford at Altair Motors. Hi Roberto, how you doing?
Nice to meet you, Shazad. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I've got Mustangs to play with today. I'm over the moon. So I've already established that the Mustang is actually the world's best-selling sports car. How important is it for you in this market?
Look, the significance of the Mustang to the UAE market, Altair Motors Ford, is the same as it is globally. It's the world's most iconic sports car, and it has been for well over 50 years. Affordable sportiness.
That's amazing. I am a huge Mustang fan myself, and I would buy one in a heartbeat. But aside from me, what sort of person gets into the Mustang?
Look, in the Americas you have an expression that is there is a steed for every need. And reality is you have those that prefer a Mustang convertible, that's very much seasonal. There are others that prefer the conventional look of the Mustang Coupe.
Yeah, it's an amazing car, isn't it? Because it reaches across ages and across cultures. And you touched upon there the fact that it comes in multiple flavors. So at the moment we have a coupe, we have a convertible, we have the new automatic, a 10-speed, and of course a manual gearbox. Well, how would you say those proportions make up your market?
Look, that is a very difficult question to answer because whilst you have those that want the sportiness of the Mustang but prefer an easier ride by having the automatic gearbox, others want the more interactive and feel of control of the machine and prefer the manual transmission.
I tell you what, I definitely fall into the second category, but I can't wait to take these cars out for a drive. Roberto, thanks so much for that. I'll see you afterwards. Thanks so much. So let's take it for a drive and see what it's like. Now I should just say that all model year 18 Mustangs come with a 10-speed automatic and also with a 6-speed manual. Now the best thing about driving a convertible is of course the fact that you get to hear the sound of that amazing engine. And this thing has definitely been turned up for 2018. It's more throaty, more guttural. At low speed it rumbles, and at high speed it sounds like a NASCAR. It is fantastic. I absolutely adore the sound of this thing. It's one reason to buy this car alone. Now talking of turning it up, when it comes to performance, it's pretty relentless. It builds and builds. It's like a locomotive, only this sounds better. And about that 10-speed automatic, you can put it into manual changes and use the paddle shifts, but that's a lot of speeds to keep track of, and really I'd recommend just leaving it in sports and leaving it in sports automatic and letting it do what it does best. It is remarkable though, it's very efficient, and I'm sure it's extremely economical too, if you're into that sort of thing. But you know what? It's the manual that really talks to me. I love this shifter. It's got this little round knob on the top. It's brilliant. Here finished in carbon. And the main thing about it is short throws, very precise, easy clutch take up, very easy to drive in fact. But you know what? It makes me feel cool, as in Steve McQueen cool. And you don't get cooler than that. Yeah, I think I'll get mine in Highland Green. You know what? Go take one for a test drive and then tell me what color you'd get yours in. Whilst you do that, I'm gonna go drive this some more. Meanwhile, here's Alex driving some go-karts or something.
Do you know what? I think that Shazad's a bit of a snake myself, because I don't think he's going to be giving me any opportunity to drive that Ford Mustang. Therefore, I'm going to have to be a little bit sneaky, and in doing so, I have made my way across to the Race and Drive Centre at Dubai Autodrome, because I've given myself the challenge of experiencing and driving one of these. I have to say, I have to find out a little bit more about it, and what better way to do that than to be joined by, thank you very much, Bert Groger, who is the Business Development Manager here at Dubai Autodrome. Bert, first of all, thank you for joining us and allowing me to have this opportunity. Can you tell me what is Formula DXB?
Well, Alex, thank you very much, but you also hit the nail on the head. It is a challenge. In addition, it is a sensory overload. What we have here is the ultimate introduction to wings and slicks. the Formula DXB experience. Brake horsepower of 180 horsepower, and in addition, it only weighs 600 kilograms. So your power to weight ratio is quite exceptional. But this car essentially is built to go around corners and not necessarily for creature comforts.
Okay, obviously I want to be beating everybody that's out there, and I'm presuming we're all going to be together in the same types of vehicle. But what if I wanted to bring my own car down to the Autodrome? Is there an opportunity to take that out on the circuit?
Yes, well, you and Shazad can definitely come and take the Mustang out. We have public track days that anybody can come bring their own car. As long as you have a driver's license, you can come bring your own car and drive it around one of our track configurations.
So Bert, as you know, it's been quite some time since I've been in one of these cars, and I'm really, really excited. Any chance we can go out on the circuit now?
Well, Alex, you're no stranger to the circuit, so yes, we can.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was an absolutely exhilarating experience. There's nothing better than driving a pure race car. Or is there? Go on then, Captain America, what have you got to say?
Captain America, I don't know about that. I don't have a shield, but I do have a hat. Now earlier on, I asked you what were the two other names that were in the running for the Ford Mustang. They were, of course, the Cougar and the Torino. But the Mustang won out in the end because, I quote, "It had the excitement of wide open spaces and was American as hell." Well, you can't get a better reason than that, can you? I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Autocrats. Please do join us again for the next one. In the meantime, don't forget to follow us on the link below.